So it's my wife's birthday today, and it's got me thinking about identity, birth, rebirth, new birth, who we are. Many people are really attached to their birthdays. Others of us don't really care so much. I've had a really interesting time with my birthday over the years. Up until the last maybe year or two, I didn't like my birthday at all. There was nothing special about it. As a matter of fact, it always seemed to be a worse day than any other day. But that's changed as I've come to understand who I am and what my birth really means. Do we understand our value? Do we understand what our birth signifies? Do we understand who we are? Birthdays are really important. Like when you came into the world, it's not because you accidentally showed up and your parents just happened to hook up one night or even plan you. It takes two people to make that happen unless you're Jesus. The whole thing about birth and about new birth is it only happens by God's choice. That is the component that's absolutely essential. There are people left and right who want to have babies and who try to have babies, and they do everything they can, all kinds of medical procedures and prayer and everything else, and they never have babies. And so why is that? Well, because God isn't choosing that for the person in that moment, right? For whatever reason, And the thing is, whenever we have uncomfortable things like that, Satan means it for evil. He means it as a destruction of our communion and intimacy with God and with each other. But God means it as a point of deepening intimacy with himself and with others. If you can't conceive or you're not having children right now, there's an invitation to a different way of intimacy and service with him. The question is can a person in that situation accept that reality, enter into the pain of that loss, and have a deeper identification with Christ? God chose you. He chose you from all eternity. Like he knew you before the world was made. He knew you from the foundations of the world before the world was made and willed you into existence. He loved you from all eternity. And there was a bunch of eggs trying to get into that sperm, right? Millions of them. We know that from biology. Millions and millions of those little suckers trying to get into that egg. Well, why did you get in? Well, the reason you got in is because God parted the seas of sperm just like he did for Moses and the Israelites. And you went bloop and hopped right in that thing. Like he willed you from all eternity. Regardless of how you were conceived, regardless of what choices your parents may have made or may not have made, or any of the circumstances surrounding your birth, your life growing up, your life now, God chose to shoot you through that sea that was parted to create you right now. That's the reality. He loves you that much. He loves me that much to give us that. He loves you and he loves me so much that he wanted to give us this gift of life. For a lot of people, the reason they don't like their birthdays, the reason I didn't, is because life doesn't always seem like a gift. It doesn't seem easy, and it's not easy. That's just a fact. It wasn't easy for Jesus either. We don't have easy lives, but our lives can be filled with goodness, and our lives can be filled with hope and faith and love. Because the one who chose to part those seas so that I could come about, so that you could come about, has also willed and called me from all eternity to be with him, to rest with him. That's what he desires. And that's what all eternity is meant to be. It's meant to be a life in him, with him, through him, to where we can be fruitful, we can manifest his glory and his presence to the world, and in the process enjoy a peace that is beyond all understanding in this life. And then in the next one, that our souls would be reunited with our bodies and we would live forever. In his presence, no pain, nothing, only joy, only peace, only love, only communion, only intimacy. The fulfillment of all our desires will be had. That's what awaits us. So that's what you were born for. That's what I was born for. That's what my wife was born for. She was born to have communion with the Lord, to live with him, to love him. Really, my role today is to understand that truth about myself and to live it out for her. Because as her husband, as a spouse, as a person who is in another person's life, my entire role is to be hooked up here. To know who I am here, to rest in that and communicate it to the person I'm with. Please pray for me. Please pray for my wife. Know that we're praying for you. You're always in our prayers, and let's take over the world, man. We need God's grace and glory to shine, and that's all he wants. So have a great day, guys.